What is good, Internet? It is Spirit of Paradox here, and welcome back to another video. Today we are going to talk about the supposed ending to the new Ultimate Universe. So, other content creators have been speaking about this within the last 24 hours, and I thought it would be important for me to talk about this as well, me being an Ultimate Universe channel and all. So let's read through the tweets and then we're going to give our thoughts on what could be happening. So there are some tweets from Zach Davison, and he says, did a great interview about Ultimate X-Men and got to express that any of you who are waiting for the comic to be something other than it is, for some grand reveal where the real X-Men pop up or the maker twists a magic dial, you will wait forever. The story is all there. Everything is there. So he's basically clarifying to anybody who was waiting for the Ultimate X-Men book to be anything like the Ultimate X-Men, you are never going to get it. So I'm glad I didn't waste my money and time on this run, because it would have just been a waste of time. We're working on issue 18 now. We have 6 more issues to go. If you haven't figured this out yet, that the story we are telling, then I don't know what to say. Yeah, so if we haven't figured out what the story that they're trying to tell, he doesn't know what to say. Yeah, we all knew what story you were trying to tell. That's why we don't fuck with your book, sir. Anywho, 6 more issues, asks a person called Ultimate Offbeat Cat. 6 more issues? Does this mean the series is ending on issue 24? And then Zach Davison responds to that and says, all Ultimate Universe stuff will. So, what does Zach Davison mean when he says all of the Ultimate Universe stuff will after issue 27 of his Ultimate X-Men run? Well, there could be multiple reasons for this. One, it could mean Peach Momoko's Ultimate X-Men concludes at issue 24 and most likely will get a new creative team on Ultimate X-Men, and then they might take it in a different direction. That could be a possibility. Or there is another possibility that I spoke about earlier on in the year, that the original Ultimate Universe was coming back. I doubt that as well. I don't see that happening. Honestly, as much as I would love that to happen, I don't see it happening at all. Then we've got the, well, aspect when he says all of the Ultimate Universe content will end. Maybe he could be referring to this could just be a simple going back to issue number 1, resetting the run to issue number 1 again. Marvel is well known for doing this with their comics for decades now. I think this will most likely be the case, just a resetting the numbers. But let's say this, if this new Ultimate Universe is going to definitely end, why would this be the reason when the original, hear me out, lasted for 15 years, right? And not to mention, in 2008 to 2009, Ultimates 3 and Ultimatum happened, and they lost majority of the reader base when some of the reader base had dropped off the Ultimate Universe by that point anyway. Yet they still continued post-Ultimatum, post the death of Ultimate Spider-Man, which was the best-selling character in the original Ultimate Universe. They killed him off, and they still continued for, well, Ultimatum 2009, I believe Ultimate Spider-Man, the death of Ultimate Spider-Man was around 2011, 12, around or 13, around those years there. And then we also got like the post-Ultimatum era. So yeah, that was from like post-Ultimatum all the way up to Ultimate End in 2015. So to me, if there is a definitive ending to this universe after issue 24, I probably would think it has to do with two reasons. One, Marvel getting cold feet with Jonathan Hickman again, or the sales are not doing very well. And I know some people are going to say, well, Ultimate Spider-Man is one of the best-selling comics at Marvel right now. I completely agree with you, but the problem is, the rest of the Ultimate Universe is not selling like Ultimate Spider-Man. So to Marvel, they would probably be thinking, well, only one comic book from this whole universe is selling well, and there's nobody really talking about Ultimate X-Men other than Peach Momoko fans. Ultimate is terrible, and Ultimate Wolverine is basically just regular Wolverine, except of Weapon X, it was with Director X in Russia. So I don't know. I personally don't know because I'm not behind the scenes at Marvel, but it would probably have to do with the last two. And with Jonathan Hickman, we know like he does have one of those tendencies to have what like these really bonkers ideas that only he can understand. And when Marvel is seeing him like cooking, they get cold feet and try to cancel his shit halfway through. Then again, I don't know if this is the same case because he did hint towards the return of the Maker all the way from the ending of Ultimate Invasion. So I think we'll probably get a confirmation by the ending of Ultimate Incursion. And this is the last thing I wanted to talk about before I bounce. Ultimate Incursion, or Ultimate Spider-Man Incursion. We know what an incursion is when it comes down to Marvel Comics. I did state in my video about issue number 1 of Ultimate Incursion is this going to be a clickbait title where they use the word incursion and use it for something completely different? Or is there actually going to be an incursion by the ending of Ultimate Spider-Man Incursion? So, if there is going to be a definitive end, and we've already started the story called Ultimate Incursion, my thoughts would suggest by the ending of this story with Miles, an actual incursion might actually happen by the ending of the story. And if that's the case, if they're going to destroy the universe and maybe reboot it again, can we actually have things that are like the original Ultimate Universe, please? I don't like the Carbon 616 copies. I think it's just lazy. No creativity. It's just very boring in my opinion, but that's just me personally. So, when Zach Davison here says all Ultimate Universe stuff will, by issue 24 of Ultimate X-Men, maybe that actually might be the case. And there's another, though this isn't really a reason, but it's more of a theory of mine. Maybe Marvel does want to continue with Donny Cates' run or version of the Ultimate Resurrection story, or like the return of the Ultimate Universe. Maybe, because Donny Cates a few weeks ago or a few months ago did say he was coming back to Marvel, but then I did watch Thinking Critical's video recently saying that won't be happening because he is a bit unreliable when it comes, well no, he is unreliable when it comes down to his deadlines, even before the car crash, apparently. I don't know that for certain, I could be wrong, but maybe that could be the case. Maybe Donny Cates is coming back to finish up his Ultimate Universe story, but I don't think that's the case either, personally. I really don't. So, here's my three theories on, or my thoughts on how this could possibly go. One, it's just going to be a reset to the number. So it is going to reset it back to issue number 1s again, and we'll get a brand new run. So we'll get Ultimate Spider-Man, Ultimate and Ultimate X-Men and Wolverine 2, perhaps, because they did do that with the original Ultimates. So we had the Ultimates, then that ended, then we got Ultimates 2, 3, Jonathan Hickman's run as well. So that could also be the case here. Then we have the Ultimate Incursion. As the title suggests, there is going to be an incursion potentially by the ending of that storyline, and it could result in the new Ultimate Universe being destroyed, with the heroes trying to get the world that they tried to have before the world. Sorry, they tried to reclaim the world that they once had before the Maker came in and fucked everything up. Maybe that's what's going to happen by the ending of Ultimate Incursion, where they have to cause an incursion for everything to be undone from the Maker, perhaps. So that's my second suggestion there. And then there is my third suggestion. My suggestion is simply the sales are not doing well. I know Marvel as a whole, this isn't exclusive to the Ultimate Universe, but right now, Marvel is really struggling to get the sales up for their comic books. I know One World Under Doom is flopping, Amazing Spider-Man, believe it or not, is flopping, X-Men, I heard an Iron Man run got cancelled quietly. You know, it's not looking good for Marvel right now. And one thing I did mention a few times in my videos, but I didn't really get the chance to go in depth with it, is I do kind of think this new Ultimate Universe is cannibalizing the sales of the main Marvel. And some of you might say, well, the original did that. In some aspects, in some points, but not all the time. With the original Ultimate Universe, the Ultimate Universe was completely different. Like, it was distinctly different. It was either you liked it or you didn't. And if you liked the difference is what I mean by that, you know? So Green Goblin actually turned into a Green Goblin. Spider-Man was more of a kid. Nick Fury was black. You know, there was drastic differences. With this new Ultimate Universe, I don't think there is a distinct enough difference between this and the main Marvel. The only difference between this Ultimate Universe and the main Marvel Universe is the villains are in charge, and it caused a lot of mantle swaps, identity swaps, and ideology swaps. And that's not what the Ultimate Universe, the original one, was, you know? So when every time I see something that looks like a 616 design, it makes me think, well, why are you doing the same thing or the same kind of design twice? You know, if we've already got access to 616 characters that are always ongoing, why make another version of a universe that is always going to be ongoing for decades to come? So, to me, I do see that cannibalizing the sales, especially with Ultimate Spider-Man. It's pretty obvious why, though. I mean, people have been asking for Peter Parker to be married and having kids. Yeah, there's been loads of Spider-Man fans who have been asking for that. They've been asking for one more day to be completely undone so they can get married again, because everybody agrees that was a bullshit story, because it was. You know, so fans actually got something that they want, and they're not getting anything that they want from Amazing Spider-Man. So there is this is all technically Marvel's own doing here. But I can't read into the future and see what will happen to the Ultimate Universe. I personally do not think this universe is going to end. I just don't see that happening. It could happen. I've given my thoughts on how it could happen, but will it? No. You got Ultimate Spider-Man. Maybe it's because they hate the idea of Peter Parker being married so much that they're willing to cancel the entire thing. But I don't think Marvel's willing to do that. You know, if Marvel Comics sales are in the shitter right now, now's not the time to cancel your best-selling book, if you get what I mean. So, no, I don't think the Ultimate Universe is going to end. If it does, you best bring it back and make it like the original. You can keep certain aspects if you want to, but it has to be mostly 1610 because that's what we were asking for before Jonathan Hickman took over the project. But let me know what you guys think in the comments below. What do you guys think? Do you think the new Ultimate Universe is going to end by the ending of Ultimate X-Men issue 24 or by the ending of Ultimate Incursion? You know what to do in the comments. Make sure you drop a like, and if you are new to the channel, subscribe. We cover the original and the new Ultimate Universe on the channel, so make sure you do that, and I will see you in the next one. Take care.